everybody, it's Robbie at Airsoft again. This is a very frequently asked question. Today we are going to be talking about the ProWin hop chamber for both M4 and AKs as well. I'm basically going to be going over how to assemble it properly and how we personally prefer to do it and the setups that we run in our personal guns. So first thing you want to do, the tools that you're going to need some sort of lubricant for your bucking. You're also going to need something like a small screwdriver or a pick tool, and that's pretty much it. There isn't really any screws or anything else you need to take apart the unit or put it back together. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our Hopup unit here. We're going to lubricate the outside of our bucking lightly with some sort of paintball grease or anything that is not going to be hard on plastics or rubber. Obviously not anything from an auto store, typically something from a paintball store or something you get from an airsoft place. So we're just going to go ahead and lightly lubricate our bucking. Then we're going to put it in the Hopup unit, and this is before we assemble any of the arm or put the nub in. This is just the way we like to do it. You're going to align the alignment moat with the bottom of the Hopup unit, then go ahead and throw the provided C-clip on there. And now we can actually flip the Hopup unit up and look into the top here where the arm is going to sit. Now we are going to put our nub, the nub of your choice. Some people run flat hop, some people run the normal Prometheus or normal Tokyo Marui style nubs. We're going to go ahead and drop that down there right into the middle of the window. You'll actually be able to see your bucking through the window as well. Then we're going to go ahead and take our Hopup arm, go ahead and set it down in there. Next we're going to take our provided gray pin. The ProWins usually come with 2 of these, so I know personally I'll leave one out on the desk and I don't think I forgot it, but just keep in mind that it comes with 2 of them in case you lose one. So we're going to go ahead and put the gray pin through the arm. That's going to hold everything in place. I like to do it from the left side relative to you facing down the barrel. That way if it pops out and you don't have a dust cover on the inside of the gun, it bumps up against the body instead of just falling out of the hole. Now that we have our arm in, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our big black adjustment wheel, and this part's fairly important. You want to make sure you get this. You're going to take your big black adjustment wheel, and if you look at the inside of the wheel, it actually has a spiral cutout in it that locks into the arm. Before we put this on though, it comes with a provided O-ring. The O-ring is about, I'd say, 3/4 of an inch in diameter. What you want to do is you just want to slide that onto the second cutout closest to the body of the ProWin, and then you're going to go ahead and use that same lubricant as you used before to lubricate it and make sure everything's moving properly. Now we're going to take our big black adjustment wheel and go ahead and put it in its place. It's going to lock in with the arm, and if you go ahead and look down the barrel, as you turn the wheel in a clockwise fashion, you should see the nut protrude down into the barrel, and that's how you know you did it correctly. To keep the wheel from popping off, they actually give you a little C-clip here. Just pops onto the cutout right outside of the wheel, and after that you are good to go. Now that's how you assemble the M4 ProWin. It's very, very easy. The AK ProWins are a little different. You actually need to scavenge some parts off of your existing Hopup. That's something to keep in mind that we get a lot of questions about. You want to make sure you have an existing AK Hopup unit if you do go with the ProWin. So now we're on the version 3 or the AK ProWin Hopup unit. Now keep in mind with these in particular, I have seen compatibility issues where you'll see at the top here, the way the ProWin is designed, it's actually designed to lock in with the front of the gearbox. Sometimes that channel is too narrow for the gearbox, so you might need to modify it or file it down a little bit. So that's just something to keep in mind. It can happen. But with Fusion engines, that piece isn't there, so if you're running a Polar Star build, you don't have to worry about that at all. But just keep that in mind before you buy it for an AEG. I have seen guns have problems with it. So first thing you're going to do, it's very, very similar to the M4. You're just going to go ahead and put the barrel in just like you did before, throw the C-clip in there, and then you're going to go ahead and put the nub in from up top just like before. It'll sit right in the center of the Hopup unit. You're going to drop your arm down in, and then you're going to use the pin from your other Hopup unit as well. And that can only go in one direction. You'll see it's it'll sort of be recessed. You'll put it in from the right side facing down the barrel over to the left, and that'll hold the arm in place. From here, you can go ahead and throw in your adjustment lever. You're going to have to use your existing screw that in from the other side just like you took it apart. And then you're going to use the provided screw, the provided silver screw that ProWin gives you to screw that in from the opposite side, and that'll hold everything sturdy. And now, go ahead and look down the barrel and move that arm forward and back. You should see the same result as we did with the M4, where you see the nut protruding down and up and whatnot. So that's something we always do to check just before you put it in the gun. Make sure everything's straight. Obviously, you want in both units, you want your nub to be as straight and flat as possible. You don't want it to be at a weird angle, otherwise you might have consistency issues down the road. Another thing that we use both in M4 and AK setups, regardless of the Hopup unit, but that you'll see on the ProWin here, we actually have a series of O-rings on the front here, and this has seemed to pick up some popularity recently. But we actually use these in the place of the spring that usually pushes the unit back into the gearbox to create an air seal. We find that the O-rings are nice because they have a little bit of give to them. So you want to stack enough of these on the front of your Hopup units. We have these on our website, but you want to stack enough of these on the Hopup unit that when you put the upper and lower receivers together, or in this, on both an M4 and an AK, when you put the barrel in, you want a little bit of pressure before you can get the pin in. You don't want a ton, you don't have to be wrenching on it, but you want a little bit of pressure just so that you know that the Hopup is seated up against the gearbox or fusion engine properly, and that way it'll create the best air seal possible. And it actually does a much better job, in my opinion, than the spring would, because it's a lot stronger and it's a lot more sturdy. It will never wear out. It's always going to be there. All right, guys, once again, this has been Robbie. Thank you very much for watching. Please check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Amped Airsoft Official. Also, check out our Facebook and give us a like. All right, thank you guys. Have a good night.